Hello and welcome to Lombardi Live. This week is one of our special spotlight shows where we're going to be showing you various episodes of The Chad Smith Show. Chad Smith has been a regular on Drum Channel since Drum Channel started. He's had a series called The Chad Smith Show. Overly creative, I know, but that's the name we came up with. We went backstage at a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert in San Diego. He also told his life story when we visited him in his hometown along with his brother and mother. We actually found out that he was shooting BB guns out his bedroom window at cars as they were going by. More than you want to know about Chad Smith, but it's a great show about Chad and his family and his history. There are also great interviews with Charlie Watts, Hal Blaine, Carlos Santana, along with equally great shows where he's just hanging out with his friends like Steve Perkins, Gary Novak, Taylor Hawkins, Abe Laboriel Jr., and many more. There's over 33 episodes that are both fun and educational. Here's a few of the many highlights of The Chad Smith Show. If you're a member of Drum Channel, you may have seen some of them, but there's so much content on Drum Channel, I guarantee you probably haven't seen them all. And if you're not a member of Drum Channel, check it out and check out drumchannel.com. Enjoy.
I just loved it, man. It did something to me that just, it does to everybody. It's so great to have, it just takes you somewhere. And back in those days, you looked at the records and, wow, I wonder which guy does what, and that guy looks cool, and look at that, look at those clothes, and all that stuff. And it was so exciting and mysterious and dangerous, and I just wanted that, man. I just thought that was just totally cool. So yeah, that was me growing up right here.
Well, I'll tell you this one story. When he was here visiting me, one of my friends wanted him to come over to the school and talk to the kids, which he did. But there was one teacher who said, no, it's more important you have French than you go meet this guy. So Chad went outside the school and waited for the kids to come out of class and talk to those who couldn't see him in class. And I thought that was really, those are the nice things that you don't hear about.
He gets in some band that's kind of at a crossroads of having a record deal, and now where are they heading? And Chad hit the jackpot with a chemistry of players, which isn't something you can really plan. But the chemistry of that band and where they went and what they're doing now is beyond, I think, both our dreams, because you can't really plan that and you just hope it happens. And I think that mysterious aspect of a band is what keeps a lot of bands going, this might be the one. Or let's get the new bass player, now this might be the band. And it's fun to see that hope. And what is the whole hub of all that is getting together and putting something out together. And music is a wonderful experience. So there's a lot of that in everything we do. And we're very indebted and respectful of music. I mean, it's a magical muse out there that we tap into, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the effort's always worth it.
It's an opportunity to be able to just kind of tell people my story. It's not about, hey, look at me and what I've done and I'm in the Hall of Fame or any of that kind of stuff. I don't take that for granted. I'm very proud of it. But I think if I can say, you know what, if I can do it, you can do it. Because this is where I came from. And I was a knucklehead and I went to jail. I barely made it through high school. But music was the thing that I was really passionate about from a young age. And if you find your passion and you can stick with it, anything's possible. I just want to tell my story about that, and if I can inspire one person to pick up an instrument or start a band, then I'm all for it.
Naked in your kitchen, feeling free that I could be alive. Clearly I'm a contradiction, too young to be my wife. A peaceful storm and never hectic, a mellow voice that I could be within. The uniform
it's incredible that music can activate, ignite, and infuse something in humans, and I call it on a molecular level. We rearrange molecular structure by sound. And that's what we call it, getting chills or crying and laughing, or, you know, we literally retransfigurate molecular structure on people when we play. You know, when you see people doing air drums or air guitar, some ladies play the whole band. You know, because they can't help themselves. Like, you know, they can't just go like this anymore or like that.
They look like they're having seizures, but they're just rocking out, right?
And to me, that's the barometer of like, okay, band, you see her, we're doing good, man. That she is an affirmation that all the accumulation of what you know and what you feel and what you have, she is that flag that's telling you which way the wind is blowing and what's happening, you know? And so I got to have, if I don't see women dancing, you know, then I looked at my band like, okay, you all need to like really, really be present, man. I need two things, spirituality and sensuality. I gotta have that in every song. Because those are the two things that makes human free.
How important is that your attitude and personality?
That's exactly it. To me, R&R not only meant rock and roll, it meant reliability and responsibility. You have to take care of business. If you got an 8 o'clock downbeat, you better be there 7:30, quarter to 8.
Right.
Don't walk in 5 or 10 minutes after 8,
Right.
where you've held people up and it's costing money.
Right.
There's still a bottom line in every business. Right. The profit and the net, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So even though you might even not be thinking about the business end of it, you have to think about the business end of it, because there's a bottom line.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be a jerk and get yourself fired, you're not going to, you know, pay for that house or that, you know, your kid's education.
And there's something you two have that I hope I have. I know a lot of people like Kenny Aronoff has. You guys walk into a room and you light up a room and you make people laugh. I know both you guys that have known you for a long time, and there's people want to be around people that they have fun with, that lift them up, that lighten things up and just have a sense of humor. And man, that's a big part of being called back too. Was this guy a pant load, or was he fun to hang out with?
I know, but that also goes back to the word that you said before, the most important word. The word is feel. If it feels good, you got a record. You know? If it doesn't feel right, and I try to tell kids, if you make a little mistake, don't go for coffee on a 5-minute break. Tell somebody you made a mistake here. Don't let them find that out 2 weeks down the line while they're mixing or getting ready to make masters or something. Today you can fix. Today with Pro Tools, clap your hand, you can make a record.
You're done. Yeah.
You could have 700 claps, whatever you want.
Would it be for kids out there that might not even know songs that Chad and I grew up with that you played on? Could we just talk for a second? Could we just spew out some of the songs you play? I mean, talk, you know, Good Vibrations, Beach Boys, Tommy Road, Dizzy, Strangers in the Night, Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In. A lot of kids might go, wow, you know, I mean, it's like, well, that was a while ago. Well, Beethoven was before my time, but I kind of like him. You know, you got to like history, man. You got to know.
You got to know where it comes from. Exactly.
We could go on for hours. How many, you know, top 10 hits do you think in total you've played?
Well, my analogy of playing drums or any other instrument, it's like when you, my analogy is driving a car. When you first drive a car, you're like this, and you're looking, and you're thinking, and you're wondering, and then watching the light, and anybody might... And within a week or 10 days, you know, you're turning on the radio, you're waving to people, you're making a turn. Once it becomes second nature, you got it.
Yeah.
We all know that. You know, we know that. Sure, you run into some parts You run into some things sometimes, you look at a piece of music, holy cow, how am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
There's always somebody around that'll help you. There were many guys through the years, like Emil Richards, Larry Bunker, all these guys that would come to me, and I would say, Jesus, what happens in this? Just think of it as this or that.
Jimmy tells me the story that you got him, I think, like his first session, or one of his first sessions, Jim Keltner, but they were not sure about this young Southern boy, and they brought Hallen just to kind of make sure. And he said you kind of stood and played a little tambourine or something, but like, you know, but he said you were so generous and so helpful and nothing. It wasn't like, you know, hey, you better play drum and take your gig. You were like so open and so giving, and that's really another, I think, important aspect.
Well, I never had that jealousy aspect.
Yeah, it was
a lot of guys have that.
Competition. There's no, for me, there's no music. There's no, like, what's
all
the
have
best
our own
and
thing.
the best and all that best stuff. It's like music's not about competition.
There's no thing as the best, because no matter how good you are, bring in the next guy. He's better. Bring in the next guy.
Or whatever. It's just going to be different, but this whole, like, the drumming these days, I find a little bit, you know, everyone's really in, like, how fast you can play and who's got the fastest this.
Like the Olympics.
It's it's
Don't
like,
get me started. Joan Rivers always says that. Don't get me started.
don't get me started. But here's this guy right here, living, breathing example of, like, you know, Hal said early in the show, it's not about drum solos. It's about playing what's right for the song and the feel. And this is the king right here, ladies and gentlemen. The king.
The king
so if you want to work, you want to play music, you want to make a living at it, you want to have fun, you want to have great stories to tell people, you want to hang out with your friends and make great friends and do what you love to do, play music.
Absolutely, but the point is, you don't just bang a drum, you know. You have to know why. Why am I, you know, I've always called myself sort of a method drummer, because I worked as an actor, and I worked with these great actors who were method actors. What's my motivation? And I used to say, what are you talking about? You got the words right here, you know, do the scene. Yeah, but why am I doing the scene? But who cares? Just say the words, you know, that type of thing.
It doesn't translate, man.
Yeah.
But the point is, you got to have a reason. Why would you go to a tom-tom? Why would you go to the cymbal? Why would you, you know... Right.
We're going to go over to the therapy room now. I'm going to go get a shrink session now. I got a little tendinitis from all this traveling and touring and playing, so I have a physiotherapist come to the show, and they warm up my arm and give it some love and get it ready for the show. So we'll go into the next room.
See what's happening there.
And see what's happening in there.
And this is Drum Channel.
And this is Don.
I don't have to say anything. But one of the greatest rock drummers of all time, and
he's so smart. He's so smart. Not only is he handsome,
every drummer would
powerful, rich, but this guy is smart.
So I'm following you.
And I love him.
Embarrassingly into whatever you're doing. The women can stay here.
Yeah, the ladies in the room. Okay. So now I'm being followed.
All right.
So you might have to do a little explaining. You okay with that?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. These are my friends from the Drum Channel.
Oh, cool.
And He's going to tell you, introduce yourself and tell him what you're going to do to me.
All right, we're going to destroy Chad's shoulder and elbow here. Now, we're going to do some physical therapy on Chad's shoulder and elbow. That's been on for quite a couple of years, right?
Year and something.
Yeah, year and something.
Yeah.
Motorcycle accident.
I've had some trauma.
Yeah.
I've had some trauma.
Still riding?
I am.
Yeah?
Thank God.
What's your favorite bike?
I have a Harley.
Yeah?
It's my favorite part of the show.
All right, I'm going to do some nerve mobilizations on Chad's elbow here. What's bothering you worse, elbow or shoulder?
Right today the elbow.
Elbow worse?
Yeah,
Okay.
my shoulder is just kind of like, it's just more kind of tight.
Okay.
I think that maybe we can just get that like stretching.
Okay.
But on the joints are a little bit tender.
Okay.
And
Oh, you're good till 7?
yeah.
Okay, did you want me to do any stem on the elbow before the show? E-stem? Like 10 minutes? I'm just, well, I think it could help, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't bring great tape for the elbow, I won't lie, but I looked at your history there, and it looks,
It doesn't really
it comes off, right?
Sweats and.
Do you want me to tape the shoulder, though,
Yeah,
or we could try it? I don't
Yeah, the
can't
shoulder's
promise.
good. For some reason, the
Yeah.
shoulder stays better.
Yeah, well, probably because all the,
This
it
is way
just
more-
pushes it off. Yeah, because you're drumming more from your elbow, right, than your shoulder, a little bit?
There's just more movement on
Yeah.
the.
Alright, come over this way though, Chad. You can be like kind of offset here with your legs that way. And then I need your shoulder actually off the table just a bit. Alright? Alright.
You're demanding.
Yeah, I know. These are nerve stretches, okay? This is going to stretch your radial nerve here, alright, Chad? You can just relax here. You tell me when you get a good stretch at first though, okay? I'm going to drop you down there. Let me know if it hurts your shoulder at all, alright? Tell me when you first stretch it.
I have to ask you, Charlie, if you remember, and I don't, you have a very good memory, but this probably won't register, but the Chili Peppers opened for you guys at the Rose Bowl in like '94, I believe. And we're doing our sound check. It was 2 nights, and before the second show, we were doing our sound check, and I'm checking, and my tech is standing probably where I am from those drums, and he's going like this, and I'm like, what's the matter? And he's like this, and that's. I look over, and you're standing in a suit. You're standing. I'm like, remember we were talking. I'm like, Charlie, fucking Charlie, watching me sound check. God. We finish hacking our way through our sound check, and I come over, and you were very nice. And you said, "Nice to meet you." I said, "I'm Chad. Nice to meet you." And you said, "The green sparkle kit." I had a green sparkle kit. Is that an old one or is that a new one? I said, "No, that's a new one for pro." He says, "I have Mel Lewis kit, same color." Do you remember? You probably don't remember that, but you have those drums.
I actually have.
And you're quite a collector.
I have. I had a Gretsch round badge kit. I had it copied of Mel's, but I actually now own a maroon sparkle kit that Mel used. It's fabulous. Wow. It's from 1980. That one. Made 5 albums with it.
Wow. Is that too?
So he actually, that was with the orchid of Thad Jones. Mel Lewis, Thad Jones, the big band.
Yeah.
But when he was here, he played on everything, Mel. There's a lot before us.
Yes, and that's what
there's an awful lot to come.
Yes, but I think it's important for young, being on the drum channel here, which is not only entertainment but a lot of education. I don't know if we call this entertainment.
It is,
but only go back so far.
Yeah, it's difficult to go further.
Yes, and I think it's really important for kids that want to go. They go back to you and the Ginger Bakers and the Mitch Mitchells. Before. They need to know what
where Mitch got it from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they need.
Oh,
to,
sure.
I
totally agree.
I think that's really a really important thing.
It's an honor, really, to be pushing that. For me, it's just. But then I suppose it's always been a thing for me, that world. I see a picture of Benny Goodman's band, standing there with it, and I think it's great. Yeah. Or a photo of Miles playing, and you just think, God, we all used to dress like Miles.
That was cool, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was
66, cool. That was the thing, When I was a kid, as I say,
David and I, the guy next door, we used to, we knew every player on, Louis Armstrong's Hot 5, Hot 7, everyone, and then you'd know all, and he was, and David's like a walking encyclopedia, particularly of Bird, You go 1967, he goes, no, 54.
That was side 2. He was where.
I just
August 22nd.
I just acquired Bird with Strings, the 16-inch direct-to-disc acetate.
Wow, fantastic.
They've got Buddy on.
Oh, he's playing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's with the orchestra.
Yeah.
But they're cut onto the disc. They're the masters. I don't know why I've got them. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with them. But they are, just to look at them, you think.
Well, that's the thing too now, without sounding like an old fuddy-duddy, but there's now kids...
Unfortunately, you do when you start talking like that.
Well, and when you
I got used to it.
I look at records and
There's a great ad, isn't it?
Yeah, I like this one.
That is fantastic.
That's Buddy. That's the Buddy right there.
That is a great ad.
Look at him.
Yeah.
I heard somebody asked Buddy about, I guess maybe one of his drum clinics or something. Excuse me, Mr. Rich, what sort of warm-up technique do you have? He said, I take my hands out of my pockets.
Yeah, well,
you're right. As we were talking today, he's doing incredible things at age 5 on the snare drum and his technique. There's nobody like Buddy Rich.
Anything you might suggest that kids don't do in junior high when it comes to pyro or anything like that?
First of all, I wouldn't suggest hanging out with your older friends that just get their driver's licenses and decide to, when it's very muddy, to do donuts in the front area of the junior high school and then get stuck. I wouldn't suggest that. I also wouldn't suggest, this is I want to say in the 77, Kiss was a big influence on me. More their show, was really taken with the fire and the blood spitting and the levitating drum risers, Peter Criss. So we had a talent show in 1977 in the cafeteria of our school, and then we had a band behind us, but the guys in the front, myself, Jeff Heath on drums, Jamie Curtis played the Ace Frehley, Eric Wallach was Gene Simmons, and I was Paul Stanley. I had the star. I was not playing the drums on this one, but we were miming. And like Kiss, we felt we needed to have some pyro, right? I mean, that was the big deal. So unbeknownst to us, Eric's brother was a bit of a, Seth was a bit of a, I don't know, I would say pyromaniac. And he filled a very large pie tin, maybe a cake tin, full of sulfur. It's a good idea. And he decided to light the large tin of sulfur, and I think 2 or 3 kids went to the hospital with smoke inhalation and filled up the place with smoke. And I think I got suspended for a couple days from the talent show. But it's all about entertainment. Even if people are choking on smoke, I mean, then we give it up for the show. It's all about the show. I'll start with talking to my friend Taylor over here about, what was your first, why did you start playing the drums, Mr. Hawkins? What got you into it?
Well, I wasn't really good at sports.
You weren't a sporty? You weren't a sporty boy in gym class?
No, I was having a hard time.
You're out in the smoking
finding
lounge?
girlfriends.
Yep.
Yeah. Or them finding me.
Right.
Now,
how old were you?
I was like 10.
Oh, okay.
But I was getting into music, just like the music of the day, rock music and new wave, Police and stuff. And my older brother was did
he play?
An enthusiast. No, he didn't play, really.
So you listened to all his records and stuff?
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know, my neighbor played drums, and I wanted to play guitar, actually, because that seemed more like a way to get noticed.
Chicks.
You're right.
You know?
Chicks go to the dudes out front, right? I've noticed that in my band.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, so but I just sat, you know, so I plucked around on his guitar. This is my neighbor Kent Cleater, wherever you are. I haven't seen you in a long time. He had a drum set, just weird, crappy drum set. He actually made his own tom stand out of like 2x4, and it was just. I mean, I thought it was the best drum set in the world.
That's cool. Yeah. Kind of cool though.
But and so I would, and he had guitars. He could play a little bit of guitar, but he could play a little bit of drums too, just sort of basic rock type drumming. And I would try and play his guitar, and it just seemed like that was going to take a really long time. And so
I didn't quite have the patience.
I wanted to be in a band from the second I heard, you know, I got into rock and roll. Yeah. That was just the goal at that point. Okay, I want to be in a band.
Yeah.
You know, I like music. I like the way rock and roll makes me feel, and I like the way music makes me feel. Yeah. And it looks cool, and all those people on my record covers look cool, and you know, I want to be there. Yeah. And so I sat down on his drums after a while, and he's like, "Why don't you just try hitting the drums a little bit?" I'm like, "I don't want to play drums, man. The drummer, nobody pays attention to the drummer."
Okay, in the back.
And so, one thing I distinctly remember in his room, he had that drum book of who's the guy? Carmine Appice with the wood drum set, you know.
Who's this guy?
Who's that guy?
Carmine.
With the Carmine Appice on the kick drums, you know, and with the big concert tom drum set.
Realistic rock, I think.
That was it.
Yeah.
It was like 1982, and so and I sat down on the drums, and he said, "Here's your basic rock beat, you know, doosh, gosh, doosh, gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, kick drum on 1, snare on 3, hi-hats on all 4." That's reading music for me.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
And I sat down and just did it right away.
Right.
Automatically.
Click to it.
Yeah, just like right away. You know, where you sit people on the drums, and it's one of these deals. Yeah. And I wasn't necessarily like really coordinated, because my brother was a good baseball player and stuff, and I didn't really have that in me. I played a little bit of baseball, but I didn't have a major, like, he can do anything with his hands kind of guy, you know. I was not. I was a dork in the klutz, you know. Chubby dork.
Chubby
klutz.
dork klutz.
Yeah. But
not getting a lot of girls.
No, not at 10. I mean, you know. But I just automatically could kind of do it. I mean, I didn't sit down and do, you know, the Black Page or something, you know.
But you played.
Still don't.
The basic rock beat that actually you still do today.
Which pretty much every song that we play has
exactly.
that beat.
I was gonna say that.
I would say 95% of.
It's just slower
98%
and faster.
Yeah.
Slower and
Slower and faster.
Softer.
Yeah. A couple more kick drum beats here and there, you know.
But that's it.
I hope you enjoyed that. As you can imagine, I had a real problem picking out what clips I'd want to show you, because there's so many hours of really great stuff. When Chad's there, you never know what's going to happen. In fact, you know for sure you don't know what's going to happen when Chad's there. Check out all the great original shows we have on Drum Channel. There's hours of them. I've often said, when you see guys sit around and talk about their life's experiences and why they play what they play, you can learn as much as you do when you're sitting there in a lesson and they're showing you how they play what they play. We do both on Drum Channel in our academy and in our original shows. There's countless hours of stuff. You can get lost in the drumming world for days on end. Join us on drumchannel.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll see you next week here on Lombardi Live.